so many memories of my oldest brother James from when all five of us were growing up. We were army brats, always on the move from base to base, country to country as Dad got reposted. With the stream of new schools, there was the inevitable fights with other kids, and when it wasn't the Bakers versus the world, well, we were fighting amongst ourselves. James was always the protector and peacekeeper, the voice of reason. He'd keep the bullies at bay and stop things when we got out of control. Mom and Dad had put him in charge enough times that whenever that tone crept into his voice, we all pretty much froze and snapped to attention. I was only 8 when James went into the army. Without his influence around the place, we all basically ran wild. I think my folks were relieved as one by one, we followed him into the service. When I heard my mom's voice on the phone, I immediately knew something was wrong. James was KIA. They'd only found out this morning. I was to come home ASAP. Before I could say anything, she'd hung up. I had to get home. I informed my CO and packed my bags, trying my best not to let the shock of it knock me down. Dad met me off the transport, and while he drove us home, he told me what had happened. James's unit was running escort, moving civs out of a hot zone when they were engaged by a hostile rocket crew. He'd circled around, using terrain to flank and engage the enemy with a set of grav spikes. The spikes blew the crew's ammo dump sky high, and James, along with it, ever the protector. He gave his life, ensuring everyone else got to keep theirs. It was a bright, clear morning when we gathered at Arlington for the funeral. 3 generations turned out in their dress uniforms. I was so lost in my own thoughts, I hardly heard the rifle volley ring out. The last time I attended a service here, I was a little girl, and Taps was playing for my uncle. I watched my father's face as the honor guard folded the Winslow Accord colors before presenting the tightly packed triangle to him. Sure. There were tears in his eyes as he accepted the flag. The token final exchange of child for cloth. But there was fierce pride, too, as he returned the OIC salute. He had instilled the military traditions of honor, loyalty, and courage in us, and James hadn't wavered from his duty to the last. All of us stuck around for a week or so after James's funeral, grieving, relaxing, telling stories about the good times we had growing up, feigning embarrassment as the inevitable photos from school and family vacations got handed around. Mostly, though, we were just there for each other. There for Mom and Dad. Crying with them when things got too much. Laughing with them when we were all reminded of some ridiculous drama that James had gotten us out of. Soon enough, the time came for us to part company and return to our separate units. I've been back for a day now. I want to get guns up as soon as I can. James died fighting for what he believed in. For what we all believe in. And the best way I can honor him is to get out there and be the protector that he can no longer be. I love you, bro. I'm gonna miss you.
Based on the requirements laid out at the start of this procurement process, I'm certain that the intelligence gathered in the dossiers in front of you will lead you to conclude that the 8 referenced individuals will be the best subjects for your program. Further, I believe that the plant you specified be placed amongst them will independently verify my findings. As instructed, the intelligence was gathered covertly, using a number of...
Are you certain they were unaware of your surveillance?
Yes, sir. At stake my reputation.
There's more at stake here than your reputation.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Very well. Leave us. We were never here. We have never spoken.